Breathe.
What if we end up getting one?
Spider! Did you see that?
No.
It like went right down in front of me, dude. This is such a Halloween video.
What if we end up getting one?
Spider! Hey there guys, this is Sam.
And Justin.
At the Survival Review, and today is Halloween.
Oh yeah.
And so we are going to be talking about another John Carpenter movie, as we tend to do on Halloween.
Yeah.
This one being In the Mouth of Madness.
Yes. One of John Carpenter's most underrated films.
For sure. I honestly hadn't really heard much at all about this movie before watching it just a day or two ago.
John Carpenter's one of my favorite directors. So, like, when I went through and watched all of his movies, this one really surprised me because it's one that I had not heard of. So I just went in thinking, okay, it's a John Carpenter movie, and came out pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, I hadn't heard of it, and I was very surprised with this movie. Justin basically just told me, hey, this is what we can maybe review on Halloween. Mm-hmm. I was like, okay, I'll give it a shot, and wow.
And here we are.
So, the plot of the movie is very unique.
Yes.
Yes. Well, the movie opens on Sam Neill's character,
John Trent.
John Trent, and he's in an insane asylum at the start of the movie, and all you know about this guy so far is he's just nuts. He's just a crazy dude with a crayon on his face, and he's crazy. But then he sort of tells his story, and the movie flashes back to how he sort of got there. So he's a freelance insurance investigator.
Yeah.
So he investigates fraudulent claims and things like that. And so he's investigating this thing about a very famous writer named Sutter Kane, which what a cool name.
Yeah.
He goes missing. He disappears shortly before the release of his last book.
And Sutter Kane is kind of like Stephen King, where he's just this insanely popular horror author. So this character takes it a bit farther, because people seem to be affected by his books.
Yeah, it disorients them and makes them just feel really uncomfortable, and even makes them hallucinate. So his books are obviously weird.
Sam Neill, he decides to take the job, but he thinks it's a scam.
Yeah.
He doesn't believe it. He thinks it's just a big publicity stunt for the release of the new book, In the Mouth of Madness.
And he's really stubborn about that. Yeah. He sees a lot of things before he's finally convinced that it's not a publicity stunt anymore.
Yeah. So he takes the editor of Sutter Kane's books with him on this trip to go find him. He ends up at this town called Hobbs End, which is the town that's in all of Sutter Kane's books.
Yeah, and it's also a fictional town.
Exactly.
So he should not be there. No map shows this town, but everything points to this town being real because he's in it, and all the characters from the books are here.
Yeah, all the events from the books, all the settings from the books are the same.
So there's this one scene where they arrive at this hotel, and they're just noticing a bunch of little minute details from the books.
There's a loose board there.
And all of it is exactly how it is in the books. And again, John Trent thinks it's all just an elaborate setup for a publicity stunt.
That's basically the simple gist of the story. The thing about this movie is that, to be honest, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
No.
But that's kind of the point of it.
Yeah, it's really a movie about just a descent into madness.
Yeah.
It's the title doesn't stray far from how the movie goes.
Yeah, this movie has so much dreamlike and surreal images. It feels like a nightmare come to life at times. Not with over-the-top craziness happening, but just with the surreal, confusing nature of it.
Yeah, there's constant waking up from dream moments, almost constantly in this movie, where he thinks he's in reality and then wakes up from it as a dream. And it really sort of makes you wonder which parts of the movie is he actually experiencing, or which he's actually hallucinating.
Yeah, you never know. So much of this movie is just a bunch of weird stuff happening, and it doesn't have a really linear nature to it.
When I watched the movie, I pulled it up on my computer. I knew that it was an hour and a half long. And I'm like, okay, I've been watching this movie for an hour and 20 minutes, And there's a lot of stuff that I still have questions on.
Yeah.
And I know there's not much time to explain it all.
Yeah. One of the best things about this movie is the cast, though.
Yeah.
Sam Neill as John Trent. Sam Neill is just an awesome actor.
He's a really good actor who just doesn't do a lot.
Yeah, it's really sad because like from Jurassic Park to this, he's awesome. In this, he's playing a very different role than Jurassic Park.
Yes.
Jurassic Park, he's the hero. This one, he's just stubborn, kind of smart-ass character. And it's a total different type of role from Jurassic Park, but he pulls it off so well.
Yeah, he does it fantastic. Right off the bat, when you only know him as this crazy character, he does that really well too.
Yeah.
He's really good as just this completely gone mad schizophrenic.
Yeah. He's even really funny too. There's a lot of good comedic bits in this movie, actually.
For sure.
From the opening joke, when like he knees one of the guards in the balls, and his line just,
I'm sorry about the balls! It was a lucky shot, that's all!
and even Charlton Heston's in this movie, playing the publisher of Sutter Kane's books. And that's just fun to see Charlton Heston because he's just an awesome classic actor.
Yeah. Now, for me, one of the most striking things about this movie were the visuals, which is obvious for like a John Carpenter movie, I would say. But like the visuals are really, really cool.
This movie actually feels kind of different than a typical John Carpenter movie.
A little bit. It's definitely a lot bigger than the standard John Carpenter movie.
Yeah, you still get that John Carpenter vibe throughout.
It definitely blurs a lot of lines.
There's so many memorable images in the movie. Like, the one I always remember is the kid riding the bike who has that old person face for some reason.
For me, it's the old lady monster thing. It's just like, that was weird, and I don't even know what the hell it was.
No, it was something like right out of the Thing.
Yeah.
Like there's actually some bits in this movie that feel like the Thing. It's like the tentacles squirming under the door and stuff like that. Or even just with the old lady, just when you reveal that her husband's handcuffed to her leg for some reason.
That was so bizarre, and it's all like, it doesn't need to be explained really, because it's all stuff from the books that aren't really part of this story that he's in.
Or even Sutter Kane's editor, like that lady, you don't know what her motivation is or what exactly is going on with the character in this movie. Like, is she in on all of this? Is she not? Because she sometimes acts like she is, but she sometimes doesn't.
You get kind of a feeling that like maybe at first she wasn't in on it, or kind of was, but then she goes completely crazy and now she's completely in on it.
Yeah.
It's just really, it's confusing, but it works.
Do you notice that Vigo from Ghostbusters 2 was in there?
Yes! He was the first thing I noticed.
Yeah. And then actually Hayden Christensen is in the movie as the kid on the bike near the end of the movie.
Was that him?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Really young Hayden Christensen.
I didn't even notice.
Have you been in an accident?
The only thing I could say that I felt I wanted more. It like just kind of stopped.
Yeah.
Where you wanted to find out more about, okay, what happens.
Yeah.
And I won't ruin the ending, but like it really is just sort of abrupt.
Yeah. But that being said, I like that final scene.
Oh yeah, I do too.
That scene's it's hilarious and just weird. That final scene, it's great. But yeah, the movie leaves you with a lot of unanswered questions, and maybe a little too many, to the point where like pretty much this whole movie doesn't make sense. And it would be nice to have a few extra things answered here and there. That also adds to just the quality of this movie, of this like dreamlike, surreal, bizarre, nonsensical film.
Because you're not really supposed to understand what happens. It's just nonsense.
Yeah.
So one character that we haven't really mentioned is Sutter Kane himself. I don't know the name of the actor, but I recognize him from some other stuff.
I know him from as the bad guy in Beverly Hills Cop 2.
Okay.
But I know he's been in other stuff than just that.
He was really, really good. He's a really good sort of villain to the movie, where he's just creepy and like sinister.
You don't know exactly his motivations, and he even comes off as a little bit likable. Like with his personality. He's charismatic, actually.
Definitely. I liked his character. He was
cool. He doesn't even appear till like halfway into the movie, but he still makes an impact on you.
He definitely does.
I like how all the book designs for all the Sutter Kane novels, his name on top is like the same font that Stephen King used in the 80s.
Yeah.
It even looks like the Stranger Things font. Just of course trying to hit it into this character is like a Stephen King type of character.
Yeah.
They even make a jab at Stephen King.
Yeah.
You can forget about Stephen King. Kane outsells them all.
It's really an interesting idea of just this author's books are so scary and so weird that it makes people go crazy, basically. And it's a very unique concept just from the beginning. Like, this movie does not feel cliched at all, despite having some jump scares here and there, some of course, cliche jump scares. It's a very unique story.
Yeah, it was definitely something that it didn't really take much from other films.
No.
It really did its own thing and it did it well.
It has a really eerie vibe to it.
Mm-hmm.
Very just creepy, dreamlike vibe to it. Because that's how this movie is. It has a bunch of weird things just happen out of nowhere, just all at once. Just, again, one of my favorite scenes is the kid on the bike, where you just see the kid riding by on the bike. Then a minute later, the kid's riding back for some reason. Then he
But it's like an old man.
Yeah. And it just seems like that, especially those scenes of them driving at night, where like she looks out of the car and it looks like it's just floating.
Yeah, they're floating above the sky.
Those moments are great.
Yeah, it's really cool.
And I say one of John Carpenter's best, once you get past his like iconic films, like The Thing, Halloween, Escape from New York, and I think right after those ones and Big Trouble in Little China, this one comes after that.
Yeah, it would be like, this is the rung down where it's like this, They Live, and movies kind of around there. Still excellent.
This is, in a way, the third part of a trilogy, kind of, that John Carpenter put together called the Apocalypse Trilogy, starting with The Thing, and then Prince of Darkness, and then In the Mouth of Madness. Just both movies focusing on the apocalypse and the end of the world, because also that kind of comes into play in this movie towards the end. And that whole concept of just the apocalypse and just the end of times. So, out of 10...
Out of 10, I'm going to give it a 7.5. It is a good movie. There's a little more that I want to see to bring it up to those higher levels, like an 8 or an 8.5 or 9 even. It left me wanting more.
I'm going to go 8 out of 10. Definitely a very underrated horror film.
Without a doubt. I mean, I seriously had not even heard of this movie until he told me about it.
Yeah.
So it definitely needs more love.
Yeah, it does. It's one of the most unique horror movies out there, just with its story structure and just the kind of story it's telling. Like we said, it doesn't really play off of cliches. And it's very interesting. If you're a John Carpenter fan, definitely give it a watch.
Yeah,
it's one of his better ones. Sadly, it was the last really good movie that he made, because most of his movies after that kind of were crap. This movie really is an experience.
It really is. It's just a fun experience.
Yes.
So that's about all we've got to say about In the Mouth of Madness.
Yeah.
Very underrated movie. Go watch it if you haven't seen it. And there actually, sadly, won't be another movie next time because that's Halloween.
Yeah.
So, just happy Halloween, guys, and we'll see you guys later.
Do you read such a game?